we're on.
Gosh, freaking darn it.
And we're on. Anyone who knows that clip, you probably watched too much High Spots too. Delicious.
Man.
What are you laughing
Irritating force, an unlikable object.
I will explain why the titles are those later into the show.
Well, mine's accurate, wrestling aside.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you know about like the saying of like the immovable object and the unstoppable force?
It's a physics thing.
Yes, it's a physics thing, but it's also a wrestling thing.
Well, then wrestling stole it from physics, unless you're about to tell me that physics is a front for wrestling.
Physics is a front for wrestling, actually.
Frick!
And I can't wait to tell you all about all of the other things that are fronts. Did you know that WrestleMania is hosted by Snickers? The candy companies are a front for wrestling.
But Snickers is what saves my life. Literally, I cannot tell you how many times my life has been saved by Snickers. That used to be like my daily routine in the morning. Because, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, but Snickers are actually literally God's gift to humanity. If you ever need to go on a hike, if you ever need to survive on the wilderness, or you are dying and don't have the time to eat something, go and grab a Snickers. Every single commercial that they have put out for Snickers is funny and it's a meme, but it's true. Okay? Yeah, no, genuinely, you're not you when you're hungry. Genuinely. A Snickers is kind of like a banana, except it's more like a long-term burn. You know? A Snickers is a miniature meal packaged in a tiny little candy bar. There is so much protein in a Snickers bar that genuinely, you know, it is great. And honestly, the next time you are at work, you are exhausted because you stayed up till 6 in the morning playing Overwatch, playing Valorant, or just watching anime, you know,
you got your ass kicked in Rivals of Aether.
Or maybe you slept for 20 minutes, you know, you didn't eat anything, you ran out the door, and you're stocking pairs of headphones and listening to annoying customers asking you if the PS5 is in stock and when is it going to be in stock and why is it in stock and can I buy this display? Go get a Snickers. Your life will be better. You'll feel better. Those may be a true story. It used to be getting real.
Welcome to Recap. Welcome to Recap.
We're going to talk about the wrestling event that was today, which is apparently a different event than yesterday, but not before we go to Kingdom Hearts and back, explaining to me the backstory.
You know, honestly, I was thinking about that. I was like, you know what? Me explaining wrestling to you is like explaining Kingdom Hearts to someone who does not understand what is happening in the timeline.
Yeah.
It's either that or like if I sat here and tried to explain quantum mechanics to you. Or like if I tried to give you a physics lesson, I feel like we could do that.
Well, you see, here's the difference though. I think I could follow along if you were talking about physics and quantum mechanics because, you know, kind of big nerd here. I mean, I'm not going to understand everything, but I can get it, you know.
So you're telling me that you could understand like long ass formulas but not a drop toe hold? Okay.
I would probably be able to follow it along a lot more because, you know, that's like very logic based, right? And it turns out wrestling is flipping my world upside down. Like, I don't know if you saw this in my notes, but like I put down, I think that the world is like a Truman Show type situation where the real world is fake. Like the real world is the Truman Show and wrestling is actually the real world.
I don't know what the Truman Show is, so I'm gonna move on.
Oh, it's a show where Jim Carrey is his entire life. He's actually a TV show and everything's fake.
Oh, it's like WandaVision. Kind of.
Maybe.
I don't know. I've never seen that show. Anyways, welcome to Recap. Today, as you read in the thing below, today we're going to be recapping WWE SmackDown, which is their second show that runs on Fridays. And it's not fucking Friday anymore because one of us is always late to the stream.
It's Friday for me.
That does not count. Anyways, today we'll be recapping SmackDown. And if you can tell by the energy level being so much lower, that would be because today's episode of SmackDown was so blah and meh, and at some points, honestly, downright irritating, that this is going to be very different than the stream that you saw on Wednesday, where everything was very exciting. Also, we're going to try to cut down...
No, they just didn't...
You good?
I was just going to say, they just didn't kick each other in the balls enough,
There hasn't been a lot of dick kicking recently, and I'm pretty okay.
It's a shame.
Actually, wait. We'll get there when we get there. We will get there when we get there. I just remembered that this happened. Okay. Well, Low Blow's Bizarre Adventure. Yes, exactly. Couple of maintenance things before we get started. We will be back. Our Liz Plays will be back this coming Tuesday, and we'll be playing Undertale, so don't worry, that's not going anywhere. I went back and I watched Wednesday's stream to collect a couple of things. I hope I don't sound like I'm underwater like I did last time. Try to fix that. Also, I will try not to curse so much because every other sentence had like 4 or 5 expletives in it, so we're gonna try to be more family friendly. Try not to say the same words over and over again, because I read Yemen's notes, and at one point he said, Liz does a lot of TED Talks, and I didn't realize that I had said that line that many times. Unfortunately, I did. Because
that was funny to write down.
I am the kind of person that, it's like a cycle. It's like, I find a phrase I like, I make it my personality for 3 months. I find a phrase I like, I make it my personality.
There's nothing wrong with that, That's just honestly, that's one of your catchphrases at this point. Lord knows I have my catchphrases.
Frankly, if you watched Wednesday's stream, I think my catchphrase was the F word. I said that a lot.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of your catchphrases. I would say that, but that's just Liz,
I really don't mean to curse like a sailor. It's my apology. Anyways, we should probably start talking about wrestling on this wrestling podcast. Right? I think that would be crazy.
Hold on.
What?
Tell them the thing. Tell them the thing you told me.
What did I tell you?
The follow goal.
Oh, yeah. Even during this stream, if you've been watching, Liz Plays a lot, you already know that there's, usually a little counter below my, nameplate and, all the things and stuff. For every 5 followers we reach, even on, Recap, we will still be doing wrestling figure unboxings. And I just got a bunch of AEW Series 3 figures yesterday, so if you want to see a little toy bastard man, I have one now, and we can open him live on air. So that's cool. I got the Riho figure. Oh my god. They did Riho so dirty. Her figure looks so creepy. I love it. And it even comes with a little women's title. It's great. Okay. Anyways, let's start talking about... Let's talk about SmackDown. Yemen. Did you retain any information from the Wednesday show?
Bits and pieces.
Okay.
I think I actually have watched a SmackDown before, back when I was a kid and didn't know that wrestling was fake. I remember getting really excited to watch it. Well, okay, no, listen, okay, I wasn't as knowledgeable about wrestling. I didn't know much about it, but back when I was a kid, there was the WWE games on Xbox, which used to be really, really good.
Oh yeah, they used to be good.
Yeah, now all of the wrestling games suck and they're buggy messes, but they used to be really, really good. And I would play it with my cousin, and it was freaking great. I absolutely loved them. I remember it took me hours and I lost so many times, but after trying so hard, I finally won a belt with one of the guys. and it was one of the guys who was like really buff. He had really long hair. I can't remember what his name was. And then the next round that we played,
Jackie, that could be anybody.
And then the next round we played, I played a different character, and he put that guy as an AI and stole the belt back, and I got really sad. But because of that, I got really excited to watch a WWE thing at my grandma's house.
That's so cute. What year was this?
And I think I got to watch it for... Oh, I was a kid, so, this was well over 10 years ago. Probably more like, over the near 15-year mark. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I know that I wasn't able to watch it for very long, though. Probably no more than like 10 minutes.
Okay, well, cool. So
I didn't remember this until now.
Well, you know what? That's cool. I always love hearing those kind of things. Well, all of the information that you learned on Wednesday, I want you to completely throw out of your fucking brain. God damn it. God, no. It's so hard. I want you to push that knowledge aside. Don't do that. Oh god, I would be broke.
Listen,
so fast.
You know what? I'm just gonna say what I always say. Just every time you think you're about to swear, just pretend you're me. Just say frick.
Fish, 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 fish. Okay, that should be well. I want you to take all of the information that you learned about AEW Dynamite and you have a Frosty?
I got Wendy's. Of course I have a freaking Frosty. What do you take me for?
Are you dipping your fries in it?
No, I'm not a freaking bozo.
Fries and Frosties are like meant to be, bro.
I don't get it.
All right, you've gotten me so off track. SmackDown and WWE have completely new and separate characters to the ones that you have learned about. These are all new storylines, which means I'm going to have to explain all of these things and all of these characters. It's all different. Nothing that you learned on Wednesday will be helpful today.
Dang. I'm going to try, but I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try.
It's okay. So, like I said, tonight's episode of SmackDown was incredibly lackluster. Oh, it was so lackluster. Oh, God. Like, talk about a go-home show that made me want to stop watching halfway through and go play Minecraft. Good time.
Minecraft.
So, the show opens with Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Champion, everyone's favorite. We love Sasha in this household.
I like that name. That's a cool name.
Sasha Banks is a really cool name.
That,
she has great blue hair.
That sounds like, I don't know, not quite a superhero name, but someone who's like in a comic,
Mm-hmm.
Related to the superhero in some form, I like that.
Sasha Banks, Clark Kent.
Yeah, it's got that.
Bruce Wayne.
It's a poppy name,
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue.
Snappy.
Well, before the match, Sasha Banks was talking to her WrestleMania opponent for this year in Bianca Belair. Now, Bianca Belair, as many people know, or as you probably don't know, she is my favorite women's wrestler of all time, so I'm going to be very biased whenever I talk about her. I figured I should tell you all that. I love Bianca so much. But Bianca and Sasha, they were like gabbing, they were talking before Sasha went out for her match, and Bianca was all done with this Reginald shit. And frankly, we were too. All of us are done with the Reginald. Oh no. Okay.
You were talking a little bit about the Reginald stuff to me before this stream, so I understand
this is
what
true.
You're talking about. So Reginald is this guy who is basically, for some reason, taking over the spotlight of the Women's Wrestling Championship.
Weirdly, he is. And it's like, he's integrated himself into, like, everything. It's so strange. And at first I was like, I like Reggie. Reggie's pretty cool. He can do a nice flip. He hangs out with Carmella. Oops, surprise, now he's crushing on Sasha Banks. He's following her around. Carmella fires him from being his sommelier, and now he's all sad and pouty, so he goes and basically stalks Sasha all the time and is like, I think that you're really pretty. And she's like, I'm gonna lead you on, but I also don't like you. And Bianca's like, fucking get over him. Go away. He's not gonna treat you right. He is annoying. He is weird. You are stringing him along. He's in my way. He keeps ruining our matches. Have you noticed how many matches we have lost despite me being the Royal Rumble 2021 winner and you being the SmackDown Women's Champion? Weird. Get rid of him. And Sasha, for some reason, won't get rid of him. Although recently she did kind of get rid of him, but don't you worry, because he rebounded right off the wall and went to go hang out with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are currently the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, so they get to go on both brands. They get to be on Raw and SmackDown, and oh god, okay, that's not the best.
Well, I could understand that sometimes relationships are hard to get around with, but all I've got to say is, like, if you have a name, like, you said it was Sasha Banks, right? I've probably already forgotten it.
Sasha Banks is the women's champion, yes.
Okay, I got it right. I'm so bad with names. If you have a name like Sasha Banks, a name as snappy as that, I gotta imagine you've got options, right?
She has so many options.
So, like, sure, I get it. Like, what you're used to is comfortable, but, hop on a new sail, go see the world.
So that leads us to...
Who wants to date a guy named Reginald anyway? He sounds like an old man.
I don't know, Reggie's kind of cute.
Like the
He's kind of
I haven't seen him, but the name Reginald sounds like, that butler that just stares at you while you sleep.
I mean, he is kind of, like, originally when he was Carmella, different women's wrestler, when he was her sommelier, kind of was a butler. He is cute. I think he does have a nice voice. He's fun to listen to. That leads us to Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax in a wrestling match. It felt like this match went for longer than it did. It was a surprisingly short match. The problem was, the whole time, I was absolutely horrified that Nia Jax was going to injure Sasha, and we weren't going to get Sasha versus Bianca at WrestleMania. Genuinely, every time I see Nia Jax in a wrestling match with someone who is, like, vaguely important, I start panicking because I'm afraid that they're going to get hurt. Because, Nia has the tendency to injure people. That's just how...
death matches were good, though.
Oh, I'm talking, like, not good injuries. I'm not talking... Yeah, I'm talking bad injuries. Like, I was scared she was going to take the title. Could you imagine if they did that? Oh, the outrage! I'd be yelling on the internet. So...
Well, I mean, if I'm noticing a trend here, I'm imagining whenever the title match happens anyway, it's not going to go in your favor, and you're going to be yelling regardless.
Okay, here's the thing. I have been conditioned over the past, 3 years to just assume everything is not going to go my way in wrestling. So, I just assume everything is going to go to hell.
But this year it might.
She broke Becky's nose. She broke Becky's nose 3 years ago. I was answering a chat. All right. The match kind of starts with some move trading. There's oh my god, there's this one part where Nia has Sasha up. She has her in a stretch muffler, which basically means you take the person and put them upside down and take their leg and bend it over your your head and your neck, and they're just kind of flopping off of you as you stretch their leg. Now, Nia had Sasha like that. Nia is a big girl, by the way. She's very strong. She is of Samoan descent. And she
Samoan? Samoan?
Yeah, she's of Samoan descent.
I am not familiar with this culture.
Pacific Islander, kind of. I will not speak, she's related to The Rock.
Oh, okay. That's all you needed to say.
I personally cannot explain it very well, and I don't want to spread misinformation. So I will educate myself.
Listen, related to The Rock. That's fine.
Related to The Rock. That's muscles, all you need to know.
Big muscles.
Yeah, okay. So she has her in this stretch muffler, right? And she twists and throws her face first into like the middle turnbuckle, which is like the little pad in the corner where the ropes connect. You know that little pad at the end? She throws her face first into that, and I genuinely thought that she was going to give Sasha a concussion. I was horrified.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like a nice Sunday afternoon. Sounds like a Monday to me.
There's a Samoan drop at one point, like there's a kick out, you know, lots of like slow holds, and then eventually, maybe like 6 or 7 minutes into the match, my Jimmy Johns arrived, so I couldn't really pay attention to the match because I was busy getting Jimmy Johns. So at some point, I looked down at my sandwich and I helped my brother like pass out all the food, and I looked back up and Sasha had slapped on a bank statement, and then I think the bank statement was like all messed up at some point, like Shayna Baszler, the tag team partner of Nia, got involved, kicked Nia in the chest. Sasha does something, I don't remember, probably a Meteora, and then pins Nia. Title match is over. Yeehaw, thank God. But that's just kind of, it's a very big yeehaw. Next, we have a backstage take a shot. Wait, it ended in a DQ? No, it didn't. I'm pretty sure Sasha won. A different match ended in DQ. The Bianca Belair match later in the night ended in DQ. And we will get to that because that fucking irritated me so bad. Like I was not happy about that. And that was just because of the thing, but like we get there when we get there. Now then, we have a backstage segment where one of the backstage interviewers, I think it was Kayla Braxton, don't really remember, didn't write it down, because this like backstage promo that Edge does, he just like goes back there and he's like yo, tonight is my first match on SmackDown in 11 years since coming back from injury, and I think that I'm good and that Daniel is stupid and that I'm gonna beat Roman at WrestleMania. And frankly, can I be honest? Not Daniel Bryan, my bad. Edge, since winning the Royal Rumble, has been acting like a little bitch. I'm gonna throw that out there. I know that we have some Edge stands in the chat. You know what? I like Edge too, but like, come on now. He's been acting like a little punk recently, and he's like, I'm in your head. And we're like, not really, brother. You're just kind of like standing there with looking like a Viking. Like, I can't believe that WWE superstar Edge from the hit TV show Haven is standing on my screen being like, I'm in your head. I'm the ultimate opportunist. He names himself
Edge, though.
Like, do you know anything about Edge?
Is he older than 12?
Do you know anything about Edge?
I don't know anything about Edge.
Okay,
I don't know anything about Edge.
Edge was a superstar who debuted in like around the 1990s as a part of a stable called The Brood with a dude named Gangrel and a dude named Christian, and they were all vampires. Now, stick with me. Eventually, Edge kind of like gets away from The Brood. He does like the good old E&C reunion tour, Edge and Christian reunion tour, where they just kind of go around and I don't know, they just like mess up the Hardy Boys' day and they jump off of ladders and they commit not crimes, but it was pretty cool. They're pretty famous. And then Edge goes on to be one of the most successful wrestlers of all time, holding over 31 championships in his like 20-ish years of wrestling. And they call him the rated R superstar because he's like all extreme, except not ECW. Extreme, quoth the Raven. What is important, okay, you might, TLDR, he's very good. We like Edge. Edge is cool. In 2011, Edge had to forcibly retire from wrestling because of a neck injury so severe that at any point, if he kept wrestling with this like neck injury, he would like die. He would be paralyzed and die. It was bad. And then I believe last year in 2020, he made a special like surprise entrant in the 2020 Royal Rumble, and the whole internet blew up and it was crazy. And then he had a match at that year's WrestleMania in front of no people against Randy Orton in a very boring last man standing match. Although they did let Edge say fuck live on air. I thought that was pretty cool. And then they had a following match at Backlash that was heralded as the greatest wrestling match ever by the company, not by anyone who watched it, because frankly, the match was somehow longer than the one at WrestleMania. However, it did manage to be less boring because it was like all cut up. However, they did have to do so many takes of that match that Edge tore his tricep during the finish of like one of the two endings of that match. So like after coming back, he tore his tricep and he was out for a while, and he made his re-debut in the 2021 Royal Rumble, which he won, by the way. Edge is the 2021 Royal Rumble winner. Have you ever seen a Royal Rumble, Cody?
No, but I'm familiar with the term.
See, I think that is the wrong answer.
Isn't that the one where they have like a bunch of people come in, like one after another?
Yeah, we watched the 2020 Royal Rumble together because I invited you and Doc and Jace to watch it.
Yeah, I remember playing a bunch of those on that Xbox game. Those were fun.
Yeah, he won the 2021 Royal Rumble, and I'm definitely not still mad about it. I'm definitely, like, I love Edge, but I'm definitely not mad that the great mythos of Daniel Bryan just keeps getting shafted. That's fine. Definitely not mad about that or anything. But
so TLDR, Edge is probably just gonna keep being an idiot until he just like can't move anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. That is incredibly accurate. Because this man went from 1 to 30. Like, he swept the entire board of the Royal Rumble this year. He went from number 1 to number 30 and like beat everyone. Although like 40 minutes of the match, he was basically just like sitting on the outside and not really doing anything. But just pretend that didn't happen. Just pretend that didn't happen. We talked to Edge.
I mean, you got to take a rest, you know.
You gotta like recoup, you know.
You got all this carnage around you. You know, you have to sit down and drink a coffee at some point.
There's so many people, you know. So we talked to Edge. Edge acts like a little bitch. Moving on. Now, okay, so compare this to like the show that we watched a few days ago, and I know that we talked about a few days ago. I don't really like to compare AEW and WWE because frankly, I don't care. But if we compare, you'll notice I'm going to be talking more about like talking segments and like backstage segments where people talk to each other rather than wrestling matches. And when I do talk about wrestling matches, there's not going to be much to talk about. So keep that in mind. Next, we go and see Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler backstage, and they're angry at each other for obvious reasons. Shayna is the reason that Nia lost her title match, although Nia was going to lose anyways. I hope that she knew that. And Shayna's like, you know what? I'm gonna ask for a match with Bianca Belair tonight because somehow this is her fault. I can't believe that she dresses better than I do. By the way, Bianca's all red outfit. Amazing. Just saying. Looked great. At least one of the top stars on some show knows how to dress themselves. Seth, we're gonna get to you, you little Hot Wheels mess. This man dressed like a Hot Wheels. We'll talk about it. Actually, that genuinely, I didn't even know. That is the next segment. We go to the ring to see Seth Rollins. Oh god, I can't do the Waluigi voice, but he basically sounds like Waluigi and looks like a rat, so he's like, Seth Rollins! There you go.
Holy crap.
I'm not at Cesaro!
Man, I would love to see Waluigi in wrestling.
He walks out. Yeah, there you go. But we go back to the ring where there is not wrestling, actually. It is just a guy in a suit standing there being like, embrace the vision. The power of fatherhood has changed me. And he basically recaps something that happened like a month ago. And he's just doing my job for me. And what he's recapping is when Seth came back from paternity leave after having a child, basically, Seth Rollins, there you go, that's perfect. basically everyone on the roster is like standing around the ring while like Seth is in the ring, and Seth's all talking about like the miracle of childbirth and how like he won't lead anyone astray, and then the entire locker room basically at the
Does he
same
explain
time
it though?
vaguely, but it's been so long and I don't care that I've forgotten.
How you forgotten?
Like what he said specifically in that random promo that didn't
yes,
matter.
that's what you've forgotten. Sorry, I was making
Yes, I
a
forgot.
different dumb joke. Never mind.
But anyway, Seth Rollins is still pissed at Cesaro with Cyborg. It's one of my favorite t-shirts of all time. I wish I owned one. He's still mad at Cesaro because Cesaro, out of everyone who left that day... That's a good question. K-Paul asks, have you ever seen a Nakazawa match? Cody, have you ever seen a Nakazawa match?
I responded in chat.
That sounds like a kind of sandwich. It is not. Michael Nakazawa is a wrestler with AEW, and basically what he does is he really loves oil. Like he loves rubbing himself in Turkish like oil, and he just kind of runs around in his little jimmies. And his finishing move is he takes off his underwear, which is a stretchy pink thong, and he puts it like over his hand and stretches it backwards, and apparently it is so disgusting and stinky that when he puts it in people's faces, they die. That is Michael Nakazawa for you. Why are you listening to JonTron in the middle of our stream?
I pulled up the oil meme.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, listen.
Coincidentally,
people say things, my brain goes in it goes in a direction, and
hey, that's what I do too. Coincidentally, at some point in these notes, I do make a JonTron reference in these notes. Somewhere. We'll get there though. We will get there. Don't you worry. But
remember when that guy uploaded?
I could say that about a lot of YouTubers. Seth Rollins is talking, mad at Cesaro. He's like, I can't believe that Cesaro disrespected me, a man who looks like the rat from Ratatouille. I can't believe that he did this to me. He picked me up and swung me around in a circle 22 times, which frankly, I think this was not Seth's intention, but in reality, he just made Cesaro sound even cooler than he already is. Like, Cesaro is a badass.
Is that actually what he said?
What?
What you just said, is that actually what he said?
Well, not verbatim, but like the part where he's like, Cesaro picked me up and swung me around 22 times. And he's like staring dead in the camera, and he's got the mic like really close to his mouth, and he's like, he swung me around 22 times. And we're like, all right, Seth, stop breathing down the mic, sweetie. It's a little extra.
Is he just trying to scare little kids from Cesaro, or is he trying to say that he's mad?
No, he's just trying to say that he's like really mad and angry, but scaring kids is not his shtick. That has been a shtick in the past. Shout out Chuck E. T. fucking scaring children outside of like rings and stuff, just yelling at them. Okay. By this point, nice. Like Seth is like really dogging on Cesaro, just basically giving him the most lame verbal lashing. And Shinsuke Nakamura's music hits, and he comes out and he's like the king of rad, you know? He's fucking awesome. And he comes down and he's got his little outfit and he's like schmoovin' and he's like, hi. So for context, Shinsuke is an old friend of Cesaro's. They used to hang out together. They were once tag team champions together, and then like their lives kind of drifted apart. But they're still like in communication, like they're still friends, because Shinsuke is all like, you shouldn't. Well, he doesn't like speak. He doesn't say anything, but he's basically just like, because he's, rad. And he just comes out and he's all like this, and Seth's like, what the? Get away from me, witchcraft! And Shinsuke is just like standing there as like the Rising Sun plays in the background. By the way, the Rising Sun, one of the best wrestling themes ever. It's so good. I'm so glad
that was your name for a good while.
It's the name of everyone who's a part of that thing in the server, yeah. But Shinsuke like comes down here like dancing and vibing to his song, and Seth's like screaming at him because Seth is always screaming. And Shinsuke snatches the mic from Seth, looks him dead in the eyes, and goes, "Shut up." He genuinely goes, "Shut up," and it was so great. I loved it. And like, Seth is like, I can't believe someone would have the audacity to tell me to shut up.
I can't believe you've done this.
He's like, oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this. And they get into an altercation, which eventually ends with, oh goodness, Moon Kid now runs on following juice. Welcome to the squad. I hope you enjoy your stay, Moon Kid. Don't forget to slurp that following boy juice. Slurps up. Yeah, hydrate or dihydrate. Anyways,
what just happened?
Someone followed the stream.
Oh, okay. Oh
well. The altercation ends with Seth taking a fat-ass Kinshasa. For context, Cody, a Kinshasa is a move in which Shinsuke drives his knee so far into your head that you might as well knock it off with like a bowling ball. It's very good. Love a good Kinshasa. And Seth sold this Kinshasa like it was murder. Like this man literally turned into like a skipping stone across waters. He went he was like flopping all. Oh my god, the art of selling. It was so good. Oh, it was so great. Also, slightly unrelated, but like as a teeny tiny segment in between these two things, they announced that Eric Bischoff is now going to be a part of the 2021 class Hall of Fame. So that's very cool for Eric Bischoff. That's very cool. He flopped like a fish. It really was flopping like a fish. Oof. We're really speed running this because, frankly, honest to God, there's not much to say about any of this stuff. I could sit here and like explain all of the storylines to you, but fuck, I'm not sure if I care enough. Like, I love all of these people.
We chill. We having a good time.
Yeah,
this is
very chill.
Bacon, chicken.
Can you stop doing like ads on this? Like, first you were talking about.
This is not an ad. This is me gloating.
Anyways, I have a headache. So we actually have a match now. Thank God. We went 3 segments and we finally have a match. This is the Street Profits, and they are fighting Rey and Dominic Mysterio. To anyone who has ever said that tag team wrestling is dead, depending on what company you're in, it might be. But honestly, I like all 4 of the men included in this match. I think that... Do you know who Rey Mysterio is? I feel like you have a good chance of knowing who that is.
I feel like you've talked about them before.
Rey Mysterio is like that famous luchador who's like really short. He's getting an animated series about him.
Oh.
He does the 619.
No idea what the 619 is.
Okay, well, Rey Mysterio is here with his son, who is like 2 foot taller than him, named Dominic. So cool. Dominic always lets Rey ride on his back to the ring. It's very cute. And the Street Profits are comprised of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Montez Ford has Star written all over him. He is one of the he's an amazing wrestler. He has literally everything to him. And then Angelo Dawkins is there. And I don't mean to be mean. Angelo is cool. I like his little headbands that he wears, but like, it's just a shame that he is nowhere near like the star power of Montez. Anyways. Angelo has been improving. You are right. Like, he's getting better, definitely. But we have this tag match, and frankly, I can't wait to talk about it. The Dirty Dogs are on commentary. That is a real tag team, and that is actually their name for realsies. And the Dirty Dogs
I like
are
that name.
the
I
Dirty
like that name.
Dogs. They are the the SmackDown tag team champions. And ever since they won those titles, I am 99% sure that they have not defended them and barely been on TV because WWE hates their tag teams, like vehemently hates tag teams, and that is very depressing for someone who loves tag team wrestling. Hi, nice.
Listen, you know, you gotta win it, and then you run away so no one can steal it from you. Justin.
I mean, TBH, that is what
upset.
Brock Lesnar did like 3 times, and it worked very well for him. But the Dirty Dogs, which are comprised of Dolph Ziggler, also known as Big Nemeth, and Bobby Roode. And I refuse to call him Robert Roode because that name is stupid. His name is Bobby Roode. I watched NXT. Thank you. They're back on commentary. Welcome to society. Hooray. The match starts, I think it's like Dominic and Montez in the ring, and they're kind of like trading blows. There's like some drop kicks. They both do like a kip up at the same time. Do you know what a kip up is? All right, it is when you are on your back and you jump to your feet without using like your arms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what it is.
You're just like, whoop-ah! It's very athletic.
Yeah.
I learned the other day, my grandma watched a wrestling show with me the other day, and she always gets very excited when people do kip ups, and I'm like, oh, you're learning the names of the moves. That's really sweet. And she's like, oh no, honey. Back in the day, I could do kip ups. And I was like, all right, Grandma, damn, go Grandma. I love that for you, Miss Grandma. I love her. She's the best. Robert Roode works for some of like the Oh, do I know how to read? Oh my god. Robert Roode works for some. I don't need this. Robert Roode works for some of the like pompous rich guy without being rich asshole gimmick that he mostly had in TNA post Beer Money. You know, sometimes I miss Beer Money. Sometimes I miss Beer Money. Only sometimes though. Oh, why did it close? Okay. There's like some more like move trading, and eventually we've got Angelo Dawkins, who has, I think he's got Dominic like up on his shoulders, and like Montez is on the top rope. They're getting ready to do their tag team finishing move, which is the cash out, and Rey Mysterio, little slippy boy, comes in here and goes under Dawkins' legs and like pushes he like gets Montez off of the top rope, and like it's all, oh no, what the heck? They're doing some sneakies. That's crazy. And I don't know why I'm doing like the band kid faces, or like the like horse girl thing. I don't know. I watch too much TikTok. I think it's a disease. Okay.
It is.
That allows for Dominic to reverse Dawkins and actually pull a surprise pin over him and win. Literally, I went into this match thinking that, oh, the Mysterios are going to get murdered. That's kind of depressing. And the Mysterios won, and I thought that was really cool, especially because they let Dominic Mysterio, one of the youngest wrestlers that they have signed, because everyone in this company is usually like fucking 35 years and older, which is something I kind of don't jive with. I like it when the wrestlers,
that's
are kind of closer to my age, where instead of everyone being like,
well, even still, that doesn't
40 with a mortgage.
That doesn't really make much sense, because I don't know. By that point, you're beginning to be on your losing streak of life. You know, you're starting to deteriorate at that point. You know, why not have wrestlers in the prime?
What do you think wrestling would be like if this was like the 1800s and people had life expectancies of like 30? What do you think would happen?
Well, first and foremost, I feel like there'd be a lot more riots if WWE existed in the 1800s. Because they probably wouldn't realize it was fake. And so when crap happens, or, I don't know, I feel like there'd be actual riots, And then there'd be
Maybe.
a lot more blood, lots of blood, lots of death. It wouldn't be a good thing. I don't think it'd be a good thing.
So the Alpha Academy come out, and the Alpha Academy come out by this point, now that Dominic is like, oh my god, I won! They actually let me win a match, that's insane! The Alpha Academy comes out, which is comprised of Otis Dozovich, who has had one of the craziest, past year and a halves of any wrestler I've ever seen. And by that, I mean this man went from being the most interesting storyline on SmackDown and the most put together story going into WrestleMania 36 last year to being the fucking actual Money in the Bank ladder match winner. He won the briefcase. He was Mr. Money in the Bank.
Dang.
To which at Hell in a Cell, he lost the briefcase to The Miz after his tag team partner Tucker turned on him.
Aww.
And then we got he lost Tucker. His girlfriend and Mandy Rose was moved to the opposite brand, so they didn't get to see each other anymore. And he didn't get to see his girlfriend. His friend turned on him. He lost the Money in the Bank briefcase. And we never got anything for that. Otis never showed any drive to go and get the briefcase back or figure out why his friend was mean to him. And honestly, Tucker shouldn't even turned on Otis, because when was the last time you saw
Ruby,
Tucker on TV since then? You haven't.
So it's like Ruby, It's we have this very interesting idea and plot line and storyline. They were just yeah, we're just gonna stop. We're just gonna be lazy about it. And just,
look at all this cool dust and grim that we have. Surprise, we have Mommy Salami who fell in the Uzi jacuzzi. Surprise.
Surprise, maidens fish.
We should have a podcast where we just talk about Ruby. What if we had an episode where we just talk about Ruby for an hour?
First
we'll
off,
invite
if we
Doc.
do that,
we'll all yell.
No, yeah, if we do that, it can't just be me and you. It has. I have to get Jason here. He'll have to get caught up. I'll bring Jeremy along because he can talk about Ruby. I'll bring Rob along.
Oh my god,
we can have a Ruby sesh. We do that so much already, man. We do that so much already.
We kind of do.
Sorry, let's stop before we go on a Ruby tangent.
Yeah, sorry. We get very distracted here, as you know. Anyways, the Alpha Academy comes out, and one part of the Alpha Academy is Otis Dozovich, who has aligned himself with Chad Gable, who is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, and I love this man so much. And every time that I see him, I think about all of his wasted potential and how he is not used correctly as a wrestler. And then it reminds me back in the day when he was in NXT with Jason Jordan, the Alpha in American Alpha. And God, I just miss American Alpha so much. Come back. Come back from the war, American Alpha. I miss you. I just want one more match. Please, for the love of God.
American Alpha? What happened to American Alpha?
American Alpha was a tag team back in NXT in circa 2015. And it was comprised of Chad Gable back when he had long hair and Jason Jordan, who I think Jason Jordan, he had a career-ending injury and he stopped wrestling. He was also at one point revealed to be Kurt Angle's son. Jason Jordan's vibing as a producer now. Good for him. I'm very happy for Jason Jordan. Cody, I would like you to Google a picture of Jason Jordan, the wrestler, and then Google a picture of Kurt Angle, wrestler. Hot take, Gable looks better with long hair. Hot take sustained. I think I agree.
Right. What, so we've got big man who looks like, how do I describe this? We've got big angry man in tiny clothing who looks like he's on his way to a barbecue.
He won a wrestling match with a broken freaking neck.
And then we've got
Elk.
really tight underpants.
Yeah, so Jason Jordan at one point was revealed to be Kurt Angle's son. And as Daisy points out in chat, that angle was even worse when you realize that Jason Jordan's actual real life father was in the crowd for some of those segments. Moving on, no, not American Alpha, rest in peace. The
Something
Alpha.
seems strange there. I'll leave it at that.
Vince has family problems. This is true. One time Vince McMahon, okay, side tangent. One time Vince McMahon was like, I want you all to meet my son. And instead of like bringing out his actual real life son, Shane McMahon, sweaty thumb, Shane McMahon, he was like, this is my son. And then Hornswoggle came out. Do you know who Hornswoggle is, Cody?
That's a name.
I would like you to Google Hornswoggle.
Is this safe to Google? Do I need to go into incognito
It's
mode?
actually safe. Like, I don't remember
it's spelled with an
his Hornswoggle. No, that was an illegitimate son. Oh, well, Hornswoggle was
it's
Vince
a
McMahon.
midget.
Yeah.
He looks. I
He's
feel
a
like
small
I've seen this
person.
guy before, actually.
He was
I don't know
he was
where I've
revealed
seen
as
him.
the anonymous Raw GM in like, oh god, when did that storyline take place? Like 2010?
This man
And
looks
then for some
familiar.
reason they brought it back in like 2014 for like one episode, and thank the Lord they got rid of it. Also, coincidentally,
Alright,
I think
I don't
Edge
know-
destroyed the Raw Anonymous GM, and then they were like, surprise, it's
Alright.
Hornswoggle.
I swear I've seen this guy in a movie before, or maybe he's never been in a movie before. I don't know.
I think
But
he's
either
been
way,
in movies before.
I feel like he has, because I feel like I've seen him before, but I don't know who this man is. I've never met him, but I love him.
We don't talk
guy
about
looks
the
great.
anonymous Raw GM. No, we don't.
I don't know who this guy is, but he looks great. This guy
He's a
looks
cool
pretty
guy.
chill.
He is a very cool guy. I think he still wrestles. He still hangs out. I know they talk about him a lot on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. A lot. Wasn't he in The Leprechaun, or was that a lie? I didn't know The Leprechaun was a movie. The only movie about leprechauns that I know exists is Luck of the Irish, which is that Disney Channel original movie about that kid who plays basketball. And he, like, turns into an elf. Or not an elf, a leprechaun, my bad. It's a horror movie. You know, I believe it.
I'm looking through the cast right now. I'm not seeing him.
Alright, well, while you do that, I'm gonna get back to talking about the Alpha Academy. So Otis Dozovich and Chad Gable come out, and they're all, like, stomping and shit, and they're all like, it's very much something. And the Alpha Academy is like, we want a tag title opportunity before the Mysterios, despite the fact the Mysterios just won a match. And then the Dirty Dogs are like, no thank you. And then the commentators are like, but why? And the Dirty Dogs are like, because I said so. Idiot. Which leads us to a commercial break, and when we come back from commercial break, surprise, there's another wrestling match that was randomly made during the middle of the show that we didn't know was going to happen until literally when it started. And now Rey and Dominic Mysterio are fighting the Alpha Academy. And the Street Profits, remember them? The Street Profits who just lost that match? That's very cool. They're sitting at commentary now, so now we have the Dirty Dogs and the Street Profits on commentary, joined by the actual commentators of the show, Corey Graves and Michael Cole. They don't really matter. At one point, though, Bobby Roode says, you know, that Ray guy, he's got a big future ahead of him, and I think that that's the funniest thing in the whole world, because Ray has been wrestling for 20 years and has done almost
Ray has been what?
Ray's been wrestling for like 20 years. And he is a very good wrestler, but you know what? He's got a big future ahead of him. That man.
He's got a big future ahead of him. What is he, like, freaking 50 now?
He's like late mid-40s, I think. He has 2 kids and a wife. He's always styling. He's always got like the I don't know. It's the one that's not Gucci. See, I don't have money. I don't know what the fancy brands are. It's Louis Vuitton. He always has like Louis Vuitton stuff. Very fancy.
I don't know what that is.
Grandpa! Oh my god! No way! That's insane! When do I say this? No shit. Marbles. At some point, I don't know where it is in my notes, but at some point I just wrote Grandpa in excited letters, and I don't remember why or what the purpose
Grandpa.
was. But when we get there, we get there.
When we get there, we
Grandpa!
get there. Okay.
That's so funny. That makes me so happy. So Ray and Dom fight the Alpha Academy, and Chad and Otis just beat the shit, like the ever-living crap out of Ray for like most of this match. They're just slinging Ray all over the ring. They don't even care. They're like, you know what? We're gonna sling you around. We're gonna drop you off. Remember earlier when you were like, there wasn't very many dick kicks? Ray did get dropped on the rope on his wee-wah. So like
that's
like,
what you
you
go
have
to the
the
spa
rope,
for, man.
and it was like, poor guy.
Delicious.
Otis has Ray, and at some point he has Ray in like this hold at some point, and then Ray just starts fucking biting him. Like Ray just stopped caring and starts biting Otis like on the forehead, so Otis will let go of him. And I frankly think that that's
Bites
good
him
tactic.
on the forehead?
He's like,
Yeah,
You
but
feel
okay, hear me out. How do you bite someone on the forehead?
you just unhinge your jaw and just
There's like
Get in
nothing
there.
to grab onto right here, though. Like, you know, it's like
if you
Like,
try
how
hard
do you
enough,
do
there
that?
sure is.
that. I don't know. That doesn't.
Are you speaking from experience?
I'm the oldest of however many siblings I have. There's a lot of them. I've been bitten my share of fair of times. I'm speaking great English. I don't understand how you can just optimally bite someone on the forehead. I know I'm getting hung up over a dumb point, but why at that point? Why not just freaking headbutt him?
Because that wouldn't be as efficient.
I don't know. I feel it can be far more efficient.
Anyways, Ray bites Otis, and Otis is like, what the heck? And he just like throws him bodily onto the floor, like, stop biting me. And that gives like they both kind of like fall over, and at some point they make it to their corners of the ring, and there's a hot tag to Chad Gable, and there's a hot tag to Dom, and Dom comes speeding in, and at one point Dominic does a tornado DDT. After being thrown at the middle ropes, he lands on the middle rope and then does a cool little DDT. Very good. We're very proud of Dominic. Meanwhile, Ray and Otis are fighting like on the outside of the ring by the commentary table, and they're really just going to town as like I wasn't really listening to commentary, but Twitter told me that commentary was all making fun of Angelo Dawkins because his Ohio State basketball team lost. Like that's all they were talking about was that he lost like a bet on a basketball team. And I think that that's great that they also are just like, I would rather not talk about what is happening.
I don't care, man. I'm just
like,
I'm
I just don't care.
I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money, man.
There's a brawl on the outside of the ring. Chad gets 619'd by Dominic Mysterio, reverses it. There's like some more bloodle blop. Chad does a hell of a suplex because that man, he can do a release German with the best of them. And then Otis, this like hulking, like brute of a man, like probably like 300 pounds. He's big. He's a big boy. He gets up on the top rope and just like crushes Dominic Mysterio into tiny little pieces for the win. And if you're paying attention,
yeah, I bet that'd win you.
I would win you. And if you're paying attention, the win that Dominic and Ray got like 7 minutes prior to this now does not matter at all, and they just undid all of the stuff that they did like not even 10 minutes ago. But
Gotta love it.
But now Chad and Otis like are winning, and the Dirty Dogs are like, you know what? I like your charisma. And then, you know, the Street Profits are like, what? It's very weird. And you know what? it doesn't matter because we're moving on. There's no elaboration to like any of this, and they kind of leave stuff up in the air all the time. Now we're backstage and we're talking to Sami Zayn, and I titled this section Sami Zayn is going insane. Because he is literally losing his goddamn marbles. Like, this man is going insane, and I think for those of you who don't know, Sami Zayn is my favorite wrestler of all time. Like, in general, he is my favorite person ever. I don't care what the heel turn says. He is the best babyface that has ever existed, and I love him. Please, please, I'm begging you, just go back to doing the underdog from the underground, please. Please. He is the wrestling version of when will you learn that your actions have consequences. He actually really is like the Sammy classic Sonic fan of wrestling, because let me tell you about this little nutcase. Oh my god, he's unraveling. And by the way, just for an idea of what this man looks like, and like he looks like Marv from Home Alone. He's got like the hairstyle and just like the bombastic, insane nature of Marv from Home Alone.
I love it. So
it's great. It's really great. We find out that he has a match with Baron Corbin, aka Baldy Bastard Man. He dresses like he works at Wendy's, or at least he used to. Now he dresses like he's going to the Renaissance Fair, and he is severely underdressed. And they, for some reason, won't drop the King gimmick. Hooray. Sammy's like yelling at his little documentary team, because Sammy's entire character is that he dresses like Fidel Castro and is convinced that there is a conspiracy against him, and that like there are people watching him, and that like, I don't know, he probably also thinks the earth is flat. He's right up there with AJ Styles. They both think the world is flat, you know?
It's not.
They seen it. They seen it with their own eyes. The world is flat, I'm telling you. There's an ice wall that is Antarctica.
That's the only thing that makes sense
going
to
around.
me.
The moon is not real. It is actually a piece of cheese on a paper plate projected into the
moon's
sky.
Real. Just, you know, the moon's real, you know. That's
all of these things are fake,
where
by the way. Everything I'm saying is a conspiracy theory and not the truth. Please, like,
no, the moon is fake.
No, it's not.
Listen,
the moon is very real.
Have you ever been to the moon?
Have you ever been to the moon?
The moon is obviously Cthulhu. One day it will rise.
So Kevin Owens shows up and starts talking to Sammy, and this is actually very important that Kevin Owens is the one who's like trying to basically calm Sammy down and like, you know, get him off of his like wild horse. Because Kevin and Sammy have known each other like basically their entire wrestling careers. Like they grew up like working the indie circuit together. They were in NXT together. They've gone through so many like friendships and betrayals and like so many things that like they're basically like irreversibly connected. They're like little mini soulmates basically. And Kevin is just like the very chill, like slightly annoyed straight man to Sammy's you feel? And Kevin kind of shows up and he's like, Sammy, why are you screaming at the cameraman? People are staring at you. And Sammy's like, don't you see? Don't you see? I'm talking to my commentary document people. I even have Logan Paul on the horn. I wish I were joking.
Wait, what?
I wish I were joking.
What?
I wish I were joking. Last week.
You know, actually.
Last week, Sammy made a joke being like, I bet even Logan Paul is in on it. And fucking Logan Paul tweeted him like the next day and he's like, what am I in on, bro? And then like Sammy starts like talking about some stuff and he's like, I'm making a documentary. Do you want to be in it? And then Logan Paul literally tweets in all lowercase, LOL, okay, I'll check it out.
Sorry, you cut out what?
He tweets, "LOL, okay, I'll check it out."
That's
So I
that's
guess
actually
he
pretty
has.
hype.
I guess Sammy has his ace in the hole. Fucking actual real life Logan Paul, and Kevin is basically calling him out for being like all conspiratorial and just like losing his mind. And Sammy's like, "You don't get it. You don't get it. Oh my god, just like understand me. Like they're after me. They're trying to like ruin my life." And Kevin literally goes, "Sammy, who are they? Who are these people that you're talking about? Who are they? Just tell me who they are." And Sammy's
You
like,
don't know.
and Sammy's like, "You know what? Fine. You join me ringside for my match against Baron Corbin, and you will see that there is suspicion and a conspiracy against me." And Kevin is like, "Okay, fine." So then we cut to commercial and we come back to Daniel Bryan, a completely separate character who has nothing to do with anything that we were just talking about, now standing in the ring, and he's getting ready to do a hype up promo for his match this Sunday at Fastlane. And Daniel Bryan is also up there with some of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I really love this man. He means the most to me. He's hyping up the main event, as you do, and he's like, "You know what? Tonight in the main event of SmackDown, we're gonna have Jey Uso versus Edge, and whoever wins this match gets to be the outside referee special enforcer." That is the full title, and you must say it every single time. The special referee guested, the special guest referee special enforcer.
The special. Yep. Got
Yeah,
it. Nailed it. First try.
special guest referee special enforcer for his match at Fastlane. So, and he's basically talking about how each dude would do the job if they were the referee, and he's basically like, you know, Jey is Roman's like literal family, like they're related, and Jey is like his little hound dog who like, I'm gonna get him for you, big Roman. And then Roman's like, "Good job, Jey. I will kick you out of the family if you ever fuck up." I don't know why I'm doing like this mob boss voice.
Keep the mafia voice. Keep the mafia voice. I like it.
I mean, Roman kind of is like, his character is that he's like a mafia mob boss because he's like the head of the table, and he's like the cool guy, basically. Like that's his thing.
I gotta put food on the family.
I have to put food on my family.
Oh,
what'd you drop? Don't drop things.
My DAC. I dropped my DAC.
Oh no. Well,
you don't know what that is, do you?
No. Anyways, Jey is all like, Daniel explains that Jey would basically cheat him out of the match and make Daniel lose by like doing a bunch of fast counts and like putting feet on the rope and like all these things. And then
feet on the rope.
Yeah, like if you're in a pinfall and someone puts in like you put your feet on the ropes, it breaks the pinfall, so that the ref has to stop counting. It's like an actual thing. Good night, K-Paul.
Good night, K-Paul. Have pleasant dreams about. I don't know where that joke was going, but have a good one. Don't give me that look.
Okay, so Daniel then talks about Edge, who is the other person in this match. Mr. Edge Adam Copeland, famous star of the TV show Vikings. Yeah, the acting industry is in on it too. See, there is a conspiracy. Maybe Sammy was right. There is a conspiracy.
What if it's a reverse Uno and Sammy is right about the conspiracy, but not in the way that we think. Like everyone doesn't think that there's a conspiracy, but in reality, Sammy is the conspiracy, and he acts like a crazy person so that they won't realize it.
Oh my God, Sammy is the they that he is talking about. Like they are screwing me out of my... Sammy is the monster at the end of this book. Oh my God. Quick, someone tweet Sami Zayn and say he is the conspiracy. His crazy ass would reply to you too. He'd be like, "What are you talking about? I'll get my lawyers involved." I don't know who this man is.
Hold on. What's his full name?
His at is at Sami Zayn. Zayn. SAMIZAYN. Be like, hey, I don't watch wrestling, but you are the conspiracy.
Okay, sorry. One more time, you like cut out.
SAMIZAYN.
No,
Sami
no.
Zayn.
What'd you tell me to say? What'd you tell me to say to him?
Be like, hey, I don't watch wrestling, but my friend who does says that you are the conspiracy, or something like that. Just be like, you are the conspiracy.
Okay.
You are not hunting the conspiracy. You are the conspiracy, or something like that. While you do that, Daniel continues to talk. He's like, and if Edge was the special enforcer, you know, he might call it a little more down the middle, but frankly, I still think that he would screw me over because he's a little bitch. And you know what? I think Daniel is right. And Daniel says that Edge is scared of him for good reason. Have you ever seen Daniel Bryan wrestle a match? He looks like he's trying to kill his opponent and himself. I think that that's great. Good for him. And then Daniel is like, oh, I'll beat Roman at Fastlane and it'll be great. And then that raises the ire of Roman Reigns, the big dog. Go off, you bog dog. Oh, I like him. Roman Reigns comes out and he laughs at the idea that Daniel Bryan's like, I'm gonna tap you out. And Roman Reigns is like, LMAO, you're short. You could never tap me out, you little fake Canadian. You grew up in Aberdeen, Washington, nerd.
Fake Canadian?
Yeah, you fake Canadian. Little loser. He's like, you could never tap me out. And then Roman goes on to be like, no one has ever tapped me out ever in my career. And I literally wrote, I don't think that's true. Like, I don't think that that's a true fact. I cannot, like, prove that, but I'm fairly confident Roman has tapped out before. So now he's just lying to people. Roman goes on to explain that he would literally rather die than tap out to Daniel Bryan or someone like Daniel Bryan. And I'm like, and then Daniel in the ring goes, okay, that's a little extreme. Okay, but like, okay. He's very like, whoa. And then, Daniel's
Listen, man,
like, you know what? It's your funeral. And Daniel's like, I'm gonna break you of your beliefs and your delusions. I also hope you don't die, but I'm gonna beat your ass. And I'm like, good for you, Daniel. And then literally, like, the segment ends with them just staring at each other and commentary being like, we'll be back on SmackDown Live. And then it cuts out with them just staring at each other. Moving on to the next segment. We have, I will now explain why our names are as such. The match of Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin was marketed as the irritating force versus the unlikable object. Sami being the irritating force and Baron being the unlikable object. And it being like, this is the most important SmackDown match in all of history. Two of these dumb fucks going to fight each other in a ring for no one to watch. This is the irritating force versus the unlikable object. And when I heard that, like, match hype up promo, I howled laughing for like 3 minutes. It was so goddamn funny to me. I was like, oh, whoever did the commentating for that, give them a raise. That was too funny. Unfortunately, there has to be a winner, but luckily there will be a loser. It was so genuinely funny. I loved it. I don't remember at what point Sami says this, but he introduces, like, Logan Paul is not there, but he brings Logan up again for some reason, and he introduces him as the boxer Logan Paul.
The boxer Logan Paul.
I was like, he had 2 matches, one of which he lost to KSI, and the other one that he tied with KSI. So he's been sitting at 0-1-1.
Okay, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. That may be true. It may have been a loss, and it may have been a draw, but those were hard fought. And I am no Logan Paul fan by any means.
Oh my god, I can't believe you're a Logan Paul stan.
You're
a part of the Logan! OMG.
I want death. Those matches were hard fought.
I was gonna start singing It's Every Day, bro, but that was his brother's song.
Please stop.
Did you know that his brother got raided by the FBI?
That's great.
Did you know? Yeah, this is also off topic. I'm sorry, but did you know that Jake
Okay.
Paul got raided by the FBI, like the actual
Hold on.
FBI?
Actually, let me take it to question. Was he raided or was he swatted? Because those are two different things.
No, he was raided. Like there were like armored
Okay.
military trucks.
Okay. So
That,
he
like,
wasn't. This
came
wasn't
to
like a false call type thing.
No, like they legit. There was like an
Okay.
investigation going on at his house for
Okay.
like 3 days.
Okay. Did not know that. Okay.
Meanwhile,
That's
Logan
different.
Paul has just been opening Pokemon cards for like 3
Yeah,
months
he
now. That's
he
all
did
he's
play
been
this
doing.
last year kind of safe. He played this last year kind of safe, aside from the boxing matches. But no, he's been legitimately taking all of that seriously. You know, so I don't have a lot of respect for Logan Paul, and I have a lot of issues with him. But I respect how he's been handling the whole boxing situation, because he's treating it like an actual sport, and he's taking it seriously. So I respect him as far as that goes. Yeah, you know.
Well, Sami Zayn has the boxer Logan Paul in his, like,
That's still funny,
metaphorically in his corner, and I lost my shit when they announced him as the boxer Logan Paul, because I'm like, that's definitely not the first thing I think of when I think of that man. I won't tell you what I do think of. Anyways, Kevin Owens, Sammy's friend, not actually, it's complicated, is hanging out on commentary, just being absolutely hilarious and just being amazing. I love him. We finally got to the part where I made a Sami Zayn joke. I said Sammy has sniffed too much flex glue and now he's seeing Martians.
Martian.
Yeah, Sammy has sniffed too much flex glue and now he's seeing Martians.
Listen, I mean, he may be seeing Martians, but I don't know if you can
like,
ever
that is
sniff
the
too much flex.
conspiracy. Is the flex glue sniffing. But,
I don't know if you can ever sniff too much flex glue, man.
There's some like really boring like move strike doing, and like Baron pins Sammy and Sammy tries to pin Baron, and he like puts his feet on the ropes, like on the top ropes, like he is being so blatant with this cheating that the ref just kind of looks over at him and is like, stop that, what are you doing, you know that's like against the rules, get your legs down, break the pin up. And then Sammy has the audacity to start screaming at this ref like, what are you doing, why are you buying clothes at the soup store? And the ref's like, please leave me alone, I'm doing my job. And then Baron does some more moves. Sammy gets caught blatantly cheating again by trying to unwrap the like turnbuckle, and then he starts screaming at the ref because the ref's like, stop doing that, that's against the rules. And he's like, what's against the rules? He's like acting like a straight ass Karen, and it's awful. To which Baron Corbin puts him in the End of Days, which is Baron Corbin's finishing move, and is one of the most protective finishing moves in all of wrestling. Like, nobody kicks out of the End of Days. That's just a fact. That's one of the lifelong constants, is no one kicks out of that move. So Sammy gets pinned, and Sammy's pissed that he lost this match, and he's convinced that like this conspiracy against him is the reason why. And on commentary, Corey Graves asks Kevin Owens, so did you see anything suspicious? Do you believe in this conspiracy Sammy is talking about? And Kevin's like, I don't know, man. I did see some pretty great officiating, though. That usually doesn't happen. And, I laughed so hard again. I was like, thank you, Kevin, for being just the best.
So Sammy is basically this crackhead that they just kind of wandered onto the scene, and it's just like, they don't really want him here, but they let him on because, he's kind of entertaining. Because you don't know what he's going to say next.
Yeah, kind of, actually. And he has, like, his little camera crew that follows him around for his documentary. I told you he basically dresses like Fidel Castro. It's a lot, actually. And, like, Kevin is, like, sitting in his chair at commentary, and Sammy comes over and he starts yelling at him, like, did you see? And Kevin's like, dude, you need to, like, you need to calm down. Just calm down. It's okay. he's talking like very calmly and like very reassuring to him. And then Sammy gets mad and he like walks away. And then suddenly the camera, like you just see something slip by and it's Sammy with his giant fucking foot plunging it into Kevin's face. And like he's basically beating the shit out of his friend and like running around and like his hair is all fluffy and he's like moving around and stuff. And my notes say he is repeating, Sammy screams and then kicks Kevin in the head. He is repeating, "I am not crazy," while going insane. Like he's just going, "I'm not crazy," and he kicks Kevin in the head, and Kevin's dying.
I get it. You're not crazy.
And I'm like, damn, I think he's not crazy. It's so.
I think he's not crazy, guys.
Oh,
right,
it was.
I like this guy.
You like Sammy? Good, excellent.
I like this guy.
He's a bit of a loose cannon. We love him.
Listen, I can appreciate a good crackhead.
He's definitely sniffing a lot of Flex glue. He's great. We're actually coming close.
I keep saying it with the Flex glue, but personally, I think Flex glue is just a part of a healthy breakfast.
I don't think that that's true. I like that we lost a viewer.
All of y'all should snort Flex glue.
Hi.
That's how you get strong bones.
Moving on, we have a Big E and Apollo an Apollo Crews interview segment. This was actually pretty good. Like, Big E is very good at being angry and serious when he wants to be, and like when he's angry, you're like, oh, okay, he's
angry.
He's gonna get somebody. I didn't really catch a lot of what they were saying in this interview because there was a lot of talking in my house at the time, so like I couldn't hear. I like couldn't hear what was going on. But I basically surmised that like Big E is angry at what Apollo Crews did to him a few weeks ago, which was like he beat him up and then threw stairs at him. And you know, as you do, he threw stairs at people. This happens a lot in wrestling.
Delicious.
Lots of stair related injuries. And Big E's angry. He's very good on the mic. He is so good. He just talks about how upset he is and how at Fastlane he will basically like dismantle Apollo. And then Apollo talks about Nigerian proverbs that his like grandfather used to tell him. Yeah, like legit proverbs. I don't remember what proverb he says.
Proverbs?
Yeah, proverbs.
Like the pro version of verbs.
No, oh my god.
Like you gotta use like $1.99. You get these verbs.
No.
It's proverbs.
He says some Nigerian proverbs, and he talks about how he's gonna beat Big E. And listen, different dialects, man. This is how I say it.
It's freaking proverbs. I've never heard anyone call it proverbs before.
Proverbs 3:16. I'm gonna beat your ass. E's like really stewing with anger, and he's like, you know, Austin 3:16. Tell me you know about Austin 3:16.
John 3:16.
No. I'm being serious. Austin 3:16 is a thing. It's a wrestling thing.
All right. I'll humor you.
Austin 3:16 was a saying coined by Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the 90s, where he was like, Stone Cold Austin 3:16 says, "I'm gonna whip your ass," and then he beat people up. It's a legit thing.
Fair enough.
Austin 3:16. So E's stewing with anger over the idea that Apollo even has a chance at beating him. So he's like, you know what? We're not gonna save the fight till Sunday. I'm gonna come get you right now. And he gets up out of his interview room and like pulls his mic off and like literally leaves the room, and like he hijacks a golf cart and he starts driving around Tropicana Field or wherever it is that the Thunderdome is located. He's just driving around on this golf cart, and I really thought that they were gonna do. I really thought that they were gonna do what they did at the Royal Rumble this year, where Kevin literally got hit by a golf cart and went through the windshield, or they were gonna pull a Sammy Guevara and like have him again get hit by a golf cart, except like go flying off the side by hitting a metal bar on the golf cart. Neither of these happened. It was actually very disappointing. But like he's on the golf cart and like yelling for Apollo, and then Apollo is like also like walking around backstage like looking for Big E, and eventually they find each other, and Big E like crashes his golf cart in the most like anticlimactic and boring way possible, where it just like hits a couple of things and he gets out. And then like they kind of beat each other up. It's mostly Big E just like handing it to Apollo for like a few minutes until a couple of officials come along. And no shit, another golf cart spawns. And I mean literally spawns. It is a golf cart that is a different color that did not exist before. And it is suddenly on screen, and Apollo gets on it and drives away. And that is literally the end of that segment. He drives away on a golf cart. Oh, we're almost done. I have a headache.
You good, fam?
Oh, not really. Never, actually. Bianca Belair has a match.
Believing hard enough.
I guess not. Bianca Belair has a match with Shayna Baszler, and let me tell you, this was awful. I hated it. Not the match, because, you know, the match only lasted for like 2 minutes, and they really didn't do anything aside from like trade holds and stuff. Also, before the match, Sasha Banks comes out, like her music plays, and she comes out and she goes, "Push him on out the way," and then she holds her title up, and then she turns around and walks away. And I was like, okay, that's definitely something that I needed today. Although I do like your theme song, it's very good, both versions of it. So now that Sasha has come out and left, it's just Shayna, and she like trips Bianca. She trips Bianca, throws Bianca out of the ring, and then Nia like looks down at Bianca on the floor, and I guess like Nia is still angry over the fact that she lost a match earlier, so she leaves as well. So like Nia is not ringside anymore either. And guess what? None of that fucking matters, because 2 completely new characters come running on screen, and the match gets thrown out by disqualification. So everyone go thank Tamina and Natalya for that. Like Tamina and Natalya start beating up Bianca and Shayna for literally no reason. Like it is not explained why they do this at all. They just come out.
They're just like, man, I just need to throw hands. I don't care who with. I just need to throw hands.
Literally, they come out in like all black outfits, and they just start beating up the people in the ring. And like commentary tries to explain it as like, oh, they're mad that Sasha and Bianca are getting a tag team title shot this Sunday and not them. And frankly, it's not like it matters. But I guess that's why they're mad. But they come out and they start beating people up, and that's literally the end of that segment. So I hope you didn't get very attached to anything. Hey, we're finally at the main event. Look at that, brother. We're at the main event where Edge fights Jey Uso for the opportunity to be the special guest referee, special enforcer.
Edge does a thing.
Literally, that's literally all this like go home show for Fastlane was Edge does a thing. We're finally to the thing that Edge does. So Daniel Bryan is on commentary, and that's great. I love listening to that man talk. He's great. I wrote Edge just be boot, scoot, and boogieing all over the ring. Like he's just all over. Like they're just like all over the ring. He's doing all these things. I also wrote down that it's surreal to see Edge fight in an unedited regular match on like a SmackDown on Friday. It felt so surreal. Like you hear Metalingus play, and then he's in like these little baby blue tights, and you're like, oh, this is actually happening. What year is it? This is weird. Edge goes for a crossface, but then he has to get out of the ring because he's an old man and his ribs hurt and he's out of breath. He does the old man pose where he's like, ugh, you know. And then, you know, casually Jey Uso pushes him into a set of stairs. Remember when I said there were lots of stair-related accidents? He gets pushed into a set of metal stairs, like face first. And so, you know, after he gets pushed into the set of stairs, like, Edge is like, ow, I got pushed into a set of stairs, and he, like, stands back up. Jay gets back into the ring, and then bounces off the ropes and flies back out of the ring doing a tope suicida. Because everyone on planet Earth does a fucking tope suicida. Everybody. Jay just works over Edge's ribs because Edge's ribs hurt and he is an old man and he can't breathe very well.
I mean, you don't need
or
ribs
die.
anyway.
That's not true. You very much need ribs,
Ribs-
actually.
Ribs are just an accessory.
I don't think that that's true. I know that Surgeon Simulator would tell you differently, but I promise you, Ed.
Ribs are just an accessory.
Stop it. Stop telling
They're
people
a
that.
fashion statement. They're a fashion
statement. All those skeletons with like the fancy new
spooky, scary statement.
Back in my day, we didn't have no rib cages. We died like men, letting our chests collapse on our heart, and we died.
Yeet.
Sam is here. You don't need the bottom view. Hi, Sam.
You don't need the
Welcome
bottom
to the
view.
stream.
Sam knows what's up. Sam knows what's up.
Sam is just here to cause chaos. Sam is an agent of chaos. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, boy.
Basically.
Yo, Sam.
Oh, I found the part where I was so excited.
Cages?
I'm gonna ignore what you just said, basically because I didn't hear what you said, but I only heard ribcage at the end, so I'm gonna ignore it. We have finally gotten to the point where I got excited earlier about Marbles going grandpa, because in my notes it literally, look, if you look closely, right here, it just says grandpa.
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 That's my dad.
Haha, Edge is a grandpa. Kidding. He does have a wife and 2 kids, though. He's also not that old, but I don't know. I like making fun of Edge because I love Egg. Grandpa.
Egg.
Egg. Yeah, I call Edge Egg a lot. I don't know why or where this started, but I'm like, oh my god, it's Egg. Look at him go. Look at this little. Look at WWE superstar Edge, Adam Copeland, star of the hit TV show Haven. Star of the movie Money Plane. Have you? Oh, I have a headache. Oh, have you ever seen the movie Money Plane?
I have not seen the movie Money Plane. What is the movie Money Plane?
Money Plane. There is this is your homework for tonight. I want you to go on YouTube. Yes, I want you to go on YouTube, and I want you to watch the Drew Gooden video about the movie Money Plane.
You'll have to link me. But all right.
I will link it to you, and on Wednesday you're gonna have to give us your review of Money Plane. Because oh my god. Wait, Sam, I'm so sorry. But also, you put PogChamp in the same sentence as that statement. Oh, wow.
I'm just not going to respond to that because I should not respond to that. That's a bad idea.
Anyways, Grandpa collides with Jey Uso in the middle of the ring, and they're both lying on the floor just like, ow. It's very exciting. Also, at some point, Edge does a middle rope, like, knee to the face to, Jay, and it is, I swear to God, the slowest, like, knee strike I have ever seen in my life. It was so slow. I don't know why it was so slow, and it's very sad. He also...
Truly sad.
Jay does a Samoan drop, casually. I think Edge kicks out of it. He does. Edge does a Frankensteiner off the top rope to Jay, and it's actually like a pretty good fucking Frankensteiner. Like, that move, he did it pretty well. Now the spear he does later in the match is not, but we'll get to it when we get there. I don't remember what Edge does, but apparently it's vintage Edge, and Michael Cole screams about that on commentary for like a full 15 seconds, and I wrote vintage Edge, all capital letters. Next to it, it says kill me, so that's great. I was clearly having a great time when I wrote this. Edge goes for the spear, gets super kicked, and into an Uso splash. It took Jay like 10 goddamn years to pin him, so Edge kicked out. It really did. Like, Jay was having such a hard time like trying to roll Edge over for the pin. And we were like, dude, just pin. Oh my god, my hair looks like Miles Edgeworth from
yeah, it kind of does.
That one game anime.
That
Ace
one
Attorney.
game. That one
I've seen
game.
I know Ace Attorney. I look like Edgeworth. Okay. I'm so upset at how much of a slog this has become because like with the last
I don't
stream
know.
that we did, it was so like bombastic and exciting and we were drawing things and we were like explaining stuff and now I'm just like,
I
man,
mean, that's true, but I don't know. I feel like I'm following better now.
I think we're
But maybe
following
that's because there's less chaos.
we're following better because I'm not going in depth on why all of these storylines are happening. I'm just telling you that they're
Fair enough.
happening. Whereas with the AEW show, I'm so excited by the idea that everything has backstory and everything matters that like I want to tell you that it matters so that later on, like in fucking 40 episodes from now, when I get to be like, oh my god, Hangman is the AEW champion, you can like jump out of your
I'm
chair
just
and like
like, that
scream to the
sounds right.
heavens because Hangman has finally overcome his trauma and his drinking. I
Wait,
want
hold up.
that
I thought
man.
Hangman was a bad guy though.
No, Hangman is like the face. He is the number one baby face in AEW. Hangman is like the goodest
Okay.
good guy.
The good
Kenny is the bad guy.
Kenny is the bad guy.
There you go. Okay. Anyways.
Okay.
There's a takedown, and then Edge does that bad spear that I mentioned earlier. It just doesn't look good, and I feel bad that it doesn't look good because he is one of the only people who does the spear or did the spear that matters. Sorry, Goldberg doesn't matter. That's just the truth. Although Goldberg used to be good at it, but you know, that was back in fucking 1993. It's not 1993 anymore, in case you didn't know.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Edge has
Like,
won
I know
the
I
right.
wasn't born yet, but time has been a bit wonky.
I mean, who knows? It really could be like 4085. I'm not sure. It really could be. Do we know this or not? Someone check the Farmer's Almanac. Do you think that they still print Farmer's Almanacs?
I will become a farmer just purely so that I can get a Farmer's Almanac and I'll report back to you.
All right, cool. Thank you. Edge is now the special guest, special ringside referee, special enforcers. Hooray. He's for the match, the championship match this Sunday at Fastlane. Also, Roman Reigns literally comes out of literal nowhere and spears Edge, and this spear is actually good. And he just spears Edge. It's cool. Daniel's like, oh, you want to fight? Like, Daniel's sitting on commentary, and he's like, oh, you want to fight? You want to fight? Let's go. Let's go. I'll get you right now. And then Daniel Bryan also takes a spear. He also takes a spear from Roman, and that leaves him in a heap on the ground. And Daniel's on a heap in the ring, and then Edge is on a heap like outside. And it's like the show literally ends. I wrote ends anticlimactically because it's literally just a picture. It's a scene of like just Daniel on the floor groaning and being like, ow, I just had the wind knocked out of me. And then Roman standing there with his title belt looking down at this like little dude from Washington being like, I'm cooler than you. That's literally how the show ends. Like it doesn't end in like a cool way. Like you know how last week's show or last times we talked together, the show was like, oh, it ended with like them going through a table and like bleeding and shit. No, it just ends with Roman standing in a ring holding a title while Daniel goes, my
cooler
tummy!
Than you, fish. What you gonna do about it?
It really is a what you gonna do about it, huh? Moment. And that's the end of SmackDown.
I don't know, man. I kind of like that.
You like
sometimes
that it just ends anticlimactically?
Sometimes you gotta just be like, you know what? That was dumb as crap. I'm down.
So, what did you think of this episode of SmackDown from what I explained to you?
Maybe it's just kind of how you described it, but you came in saying that this was like a really boring event. But I don't know. It sounded pretty entertaining to me. I like this Sammy guy.
I'm glad that I'm glad that you think Sammy
I
is
like this Sammy
awful.
guy.
I'm actually very happy about that. It makes me feel
Guy
validated.
sounds like a nut job, but like the best kind of nut job.
And it's so funny too because like Kevin mentions this to Sammy at one point. He's like, "You didn't used to act like this. Like you didn't used to believe that the world was out to get you. What happened in like the 2 years that we haven't seen each other?
Happened.
Like what happened, man?" Kevin's like, "I've just been hanging out, doing these things, you know. Sammy, you've like gone buku bonker bananas. Like, are you okay?" And Sammy's like, I'm not crazy, kicks his friend in the face, as you do. Now, I know you did not take notes, but since there was not a lot for me to explain, hopefully you will remember some things, some very basic things, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Also, hey chat, if you watched today's episode of SmackDown, I want you to leave your comments on how you felt about the episode today, or honestly, I would like you, or you can leave comments about what you thought of tonight's podcast, or if you have any questions or comments, concerns.
Tell me that I'm attractive. Please validate me.
Don't do that. Marble says, I felt very much about it.
I felt very much about it.
Bruce is attractive. He thinks you're attractive. You did it.
Bruce?
Yeah.
Bruce?
Bruce
Man, I don't like this meme.
Bruce Yams.
I mean,
Oh my
I know I
gosh.
did it to myself, but I don't like this meme.
Wait, there you go. That's your wrestling name, Bruce Yams.
I don't like this.
Everybody put Bruce Yams in the chat. Bruce Yams, put it in the chat.
No.
Daisy says it was fine, not the best episode, but not the worst either. But it just wasn't a good go-home show. It really wasn't. Hashtag Bruce Yams 2024? You mean like for the president?
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god.
Listen, if I was president, I would do like two good things, okay? I would put first programs in every school, and I would reform the public school system to be more like classical conversations. Everything else, man.
Hey, I like that first one. I'm a fan of that first one.
Everything else, man.
As a wrestler, yes, legalize cat boys, says Sam.
I'm just gonna be listen. If I had the ability to make cat people, not like a cat situation. I'm talking an anime situation.
I really don't like where this conversation is going. I'm really not a fan of where this is going.
Listen. It's just
I have a quiz
you never felt
show.
the love of a cat girl.
I'm asking you a question.
Okay.
Do you remember who the SmackDown Women's Champion is? Do you remember her name?
Yeah, that was the girl that sounded like the cool superhero person. Names suck. Sarah, I'm trying to remember that last name because that last name was like really poppy. It was really snappy. Sandra. I suck with names, okay, but I know who you're talking about.
Her name is Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
But I'm impressed that you remembered and you didn't take any notes. You were like, it's just the girl with the name that we thought was cool. Did you know that her finishing move is
cool? Her
finishing submission move is called the bank statement.
I like that. That's corny as crap, but I like that.
Okay. Can you tell me you tell me who won the Street Profits versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio match?
The Street Profits versus Rey and Mysterio match. Rey Mysterio won. If that was the one that happened today, then you were very surprised that he won.
Yes, you're right. Oh my god. How are you getting all of these right?
I don't know. I understood today better. Also, I'm on 5 hours of sleep now instead of 30 hours of no sleep. But I did have another massive period without sleep. So
I think that just kind of teaches me that I did too much explaining last time.
well,
like
it was
I
also
talked about
just
too much.
It's also just because I was freaking dead tired last time. I was focusing on note taking, which honestly normally isn't really the best thing for me. And I was also trying to be funny the entire time. I was less of the drama queen this time. It was a little bit more of a chill stream.
You
It
can
was also
tell
just a lot less information covered.
That's because I didn't want to, like, I could sit here and explain to you, like, the whole, like, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, like, everything leading up to now, and, like, the Reginald stuff, and the Carmella, like, him leaving that and whatever, and I could sit here and I could explain to you, like, honestly, if I felt like it, and honestly, one day I will probably do this, I could explain to you the entire life, like, the entire career of Daniel Bryan, because I will do it, because I just want the opportunity to be like, wow, this guy is so cool. Look at all of the stuff he did, and then, you know, how that just worked out so well for him.
All right. I'm gonna ask this. Marble, why do you keep doing the oh no best friend thing? For the past 2 streams you've been doing this, I don't understand this meme. Can you please explain like I'm 5?
That is a stream of, or okay, it's a stream joke between Ruby and Marbles that they are best friends and they met through my stream because they both like tormenting me. So they're like, oh, hey best friend, hey best friend, like that's their thing.
Okay. I couldn't tell if that was directed at you or some. I don't know.
No, it is not. Wow, Yemen, outing yourself for not watching my streams. Thanks, man. That makes me feel good.
Listen, I've watched plenty of your streams, okay? When I hop into a stream, I aim to take over that stream by just taking over chat. That's pretty much what happens whenever I join any of my friends' stream, and I don't pay attention to anything that's happening.
Yeah, but their memes always happen in the comments section, which is where you are, which is what you'd be reading.
Never seen them before.
You might need to invest in, like, LASIK.
In what?
In LASIK.
I don't know what that is.
It's a surgery for you to see better. Basically what LASIK is they take a laser and they shave off part of your eyeball.
No, I don't need that. My eyeballs are really, really good. I've got the best eyeballs.
You're gonna say your eyeballs are really sharp, and I'm like, I hope your eyeballs aren't sharp. They should be round.
No, I got really strong eyeballs. The problem isn't my eyeballs. The problem is my brain.
I know.
Oh, frick you.
I don't know what else you wanted me to say, man. But that is the end of SmackDown. That is the end of the recap. Also, I forgot to tell you this, but I keep forgetting to open the stream like this, like when we get into the shows. But the tagline for this show, Yemen, is hey Yemen, do you know what time it is?
12:19
It's time for a recap.
Oh, frick you.
It's time for a recap. Oh, that makes me so happy. So from now on, if I remember to do it, hopefully I'll be like, hey Yemen, what time it is? It's time for a recap.
I will try and come up with something witty to ruin your plans.
I don't think that you will, actually.
I might be able to one day.
Maybe, who knows?
Don't underestimate me.
I'm gonna underestimate you a lot, actually. But that is
all right.
That is the end of this stream.
This was a fun time. And we should be, or you'll be back again Tuesday, you said?
I'll be back on Tuesday
for some Undertale.
To play some Undertale, hopefully, if I'm not dead tired or something. And then recap will be returning on Wednesday. Hopefully not at fucking midnight, because someone would stop showing up late. to the
Listen, I was
recording.
8 minutes late, okay? I'm sorry.
You were
I
2
know.
hours late. You were
What?
2.5 hours late. The show ends at, like, the TV show ends at 9 p.m. CST. I talked to you at 11:30.
No, I was 8 minutes late from when I said I'd be here.
Even still, hopefully it won't be. We won't be having midnight shows. That would be cool. That'd be very cool. It's okay though. Doesn't really bother me. 8 minutes, 2.5 hours, same thing.
No, like, cause okay, no, like you messaged me when D&D ended, and initially we had aimed for like 10ish. So I said like, hey, I don't know, I'll be ready at 10.
And you
I mean,
know
I was a bit late.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching. From the subs to the lurkers to the chatters, or if you just didn't say anything because you don't have anything to say. Hey, I felt that. I never have anything to say. Thank you so much for being here. We had a great time. I hope that you had a great time, or at least a suboptimal time. That would honestly be a marked improvement from last stream. Ugh, I'm sorry. I'm really tired. I'm not tired. I just have a headache, and I don't know. This was still fun though.
It's been a day.
Which is weird because this day hasn't exactly been like long. But we will see you. Or do you have anything to say before we go off there?
Support Catgirl research.
I should have cut you off before you spoke. Why did I let you speak? Thank you. Shit.
The train just left the station.
You could watch like just.
All right, here I'll carry it off for you. Thank you all for showing up to the stream. This is a fun time. Tuesday we're good. Liz is gonna be doing some more Undertale. If you like this wrestling recap, there's gonna be 2 more guaranteed episodes next week, Wednesday and Friday again. There is a chance there may be a different guest for those episodes. I'm sure Liz
Only for
will
the
update
Friday one, I
people if
think.
that happens. Friday one. I probably won't be there, I guess. And so hit the follow, show up at those times. Liz will let everyone know the exact streaming times for those streams. Bull crap. Yeah, y'all get some sleep. If you want to follow me on Twitter at Yemenfor aside from that, goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh shit. No. I must bid you all adieu. And no. I must bid you all adieu. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night. Bang. Oh god. Also, if you liked this video, like this video. Except you can't because we're on Twitch. I don't know why. I'm just gonna keep saying that. If you like this video, like this video.
I mean, eventually we might upload things to YouTube, you know? Maybe. One day. Who knows?
Tell someone you care about that you love them. Don't forget to hydrate or dihydrate. Be smart. Be civil. Be safe.
Just dihydrate me. Just hit the
We'll
stop
see
stream
you.
button already.
We will see you. I will see you when we see you. I'll see you when I see you. Okay, love you. Bye.